Well, good afternoon. We're here in Pennsylvania near the West Virginia and Ohio borders doing a 3.5 year plus review of a 2021 Nissan Leaf. This is the longest range Leaf sold. This is the S Plus. Doesn't have all the thrills, but it's got the longest range at 226. The SV has a range of 215 and the SL at 212. So I got this with 5,907 miles. It's got over 23,000 now. Still got the Pennsylvania inspection sticker in the window. Myrtle Beach Air Force Base sticker also. No problems, nothing. Tires a little bit worn, like they lied and said it was an early turn-in lease. Somebody had to go overseas. Turned out to be a Nissan test car when I did the Nissan Connect, which says it doesn't have, because it's just the S model. But when I leave home without my cell phone, a little over a block away, I get a warning on the dash that says I left my Wi-Fi network at home, which is a little strange. So over 23,000 miles. Haven't took any trips since I did one to Hatteras last year, which was 1,643 miles round trip, average of 4.65 miles per kilowatt hour. So if you do plug share and everything, you can see my logo on the rear windshield, all the places I've been. And probably under the same name. Brakes look like they're wearing pretty good. Might have to turn the single pedal off. You get that glaze like you do on rear brakes of regular cars. So I've done that, but I haven't done it for a while, where you got to use the brakes. So try not to show the plate and everything, but there's the back end. And we got the military plates on there. So outstanding recall, which I'll probably get a hold of them or whatever pretty soon since it's fall. And they're buying, I got this in Pittsburgh, South Hills, a Nissan dealer. Now they got the one in Boardman, Ohio, and they got one in Coraopolis, which I've been going to since I don't like going to Pittsburgh or any large city anymore. But the recall current is on the backup camera harness. Since I don't have any problems, they said they'll just tape it up or whatever, secure it from rubbing against a sharp edge somewhere. If it was bad, then they replace it. The first recall, they sent out a little booklet, which was a paragraph replacement on how to use the defog, not frog. And I've got it. I didn't read it or anything since I don't have trouble clearing the windows. There was a recall on something about taking it off the cruise control and then changing your functions, maybe drive the battery, and it would get like runaway. Maybe it was plat mode or something. I never experienced it. That's been done. I just brought it in, sat in the waiting room, and they reprogrammed it or whatever. So it doesn't have Nissan Connect, so they can't do anything over the air. But I'm sure it's got stuff built in there that they just hook up when you get the bigger options and stuff. That terrific car. It rides smooth. It rides real smooth. It's got plenty of room. I fit the wife's cat trike. I kind of adopted it. The crankset comes between the seats. I covered everything with moving blankets. The back seats folded down. Took a cat trike on a vacation down to Mount Airy, North Carolina. I've taken it up to Presque Isle, Pennsylvania, and Geneva on the Lake, Ohio, to ride around on. I've got a longer trike or whatever, won't fit in there. Let's take all the seats out. I mean, it's a real long one. So no problems whatsoever. I mean, this thing, it does have like an anti-collision thing, which I don't think the base model, just the S has. And this has alloy wheels. So I guess the S, the 140 with the 40 kilowatt battery, has a lot less than the S Plus does. Still has the Acopia tires, original tires. And they're reading like 34, 35. They're supposed to be 36. So I got to run that in the garage. Been a long time since I put air in tires. Last deep cleaning was before I went to Hatteras, so that was probably April or May of 2023. terrific car to travel in. Don't ever want to go back to gasoline. This thing is, it's just a terrific car to drive. And it needs clean now. Like I said, I'm going to need to clean it all the way through. And I spent a whole day doing that before I went to North Carolina last time. The only one complaint I have, maybe when you turn on, sometimes the radio comes on. If you don't have the radio tuned to something you want, you got to listen to that for a while it fires up. Other than that, I can't think of anything. You can run the fan, hardly using any electricity or whatever, on 1 or 2 settings, fan only. Or you can roll down the passenger window 2-3 inches while you're traveling, and the driver's side rear window. If you roll the rear windows down on their own, the car pressurizes, which you can feel on your ears. So those are the ways to travel without running the AC. And I like doing that if I'm not going to sweat. There will be no sweating in new cars or whatever for me, or any car. So I do run the air. The AC doesn't use much electricity. You hardly notice anything on the mileage. That's fine. The heater uses more, and what really uses a lot is I got out in Coriopolis last year in the winter at a free charging. I think it was a Get-Go or something. They had new chargers put in. And I was wet, and it was cold, so you got to run defog or defrost. That noise is why we want to go to electric cars. So you get, when you run defog or defrost to get the moisture out of the car, it runs the air conditioner and heater. That's what's going to use most of your power or whatever. But we're paid 6.49 cents kilowatt hour, contracted for a few more years, and for $2.50 right now I'd get 175 miles and probably 135 in the winter running the heater. There's some kind of bug on the tire there. Just quiet and comfortable. It's just smooth as can be. It's, you know, it's quick. This car, in fact, you know, that's over 200 horsepower compared to the plain models, the 40 kilowatts, and that's all you need. You don't. They're probably too quick. This thing is, it's just quick, stupid quick. So if you're getting into the other cars, oh, we got the Rivian Amazon van going by. So those are out of Coriopolis too. So he's away from home, I think. And I recommend this car. You don't have battery cooling with the range and everything. The hottest the battery got, and I'll say it in the video, hey, the battery's hot. Well, that's halfway between the halfway scale and the first overheat mark is the highest this has ever went. And that was a regeneration going down I-77 from Virginia into North Carolina. It's a beautiful spot. So when you get down here and you think you're on level ground, not going down anymore, it's still regenerating. You don't realize you're still losing altitude. So the first time in my life I cut off I-74 to go to Mount Airy, and the time I got to the Mount Airy exit, I've gained 24 miles, and I probably traveled near 20 miles. I'd have my cell phone I was using at the camera would overheat at the time, so I didn't record it. I wrote it down on a piece of paper blindly every time the mileage went up going downhill. So it's pretty cool. And the other cool thing about the single pedal drive on an electric car is you're going down a steep hill, you don't have to ride your brakes, you're generating electricity. So you just use your foot. And the motor is generating electric, slowing you down. And that's the coolest thing. Because all these new cars with overdrive, you got to ride the brakes. So the brakes probably last 100 to 200,000 miles since you don't use them. The seats are comfortable. And I've come from probably 4 or 5 Cadillac Sterone and Buick Ultra into this. So when I say the seats are comfortable, the seats are comfortable. And the car's comfortable. And it's a zippy, perfect thing around town, and it's a great vacation car. So the thing with Chatamo connector in the front. You got your J1772 and a CHAdeMO quick charge. There are more CHAdeMO chargers out there now than when I bought this early in 22. I mean, in multiples, exponents. Electrify America, they're down to one at a lot of their older stations, and I don't think they're putting them in their newers. And it's just recently that a lot of newer places aren't putting them in. Also, to be honest with you, the charges are going up on a lot of these places. Where I hardly paid anything to charge my car last trip, I'm seeing prices on Electrify America up at 40-some cents. And these new GM stations that the government paid for, 65 cents to 85 cents. That's totally wrong. So, no problems with the car, smooth sailing. I've got a container in the back where I store stuff at, as in case I ever went camping, which I didn't. I would have a level space back there when the seat folds down. And done a lot of free charging, level 2, level 3, thanks to all the Virginia Nissan dealers that gave me 3 free charges going and coming to Frisco, North Carolina a year and a half ago. And we averaged 4.8 miles per kilowatt hour on our trip down, and 4.5 on the return trip. I usually keep it around 65 since I grew up with 55, came into being before I got my license. And you know, I don't have trouble going 70 and all that and stuff, and anything in this, but 65 is just a comfort for me. I still wish it was 55, and then you'd be naughty at 60. It's less stress, it's just a better life. So you can see the playground in the back here. Nobody comes here. There's tennis courts, old tennis courts, basketball. You got everything here. So if you got a place you want to bring your kids, we're in Shippingport, Pennsylvania, and I'll show you a minute here why my sick mind of humor here. You probably caught it in camera shot or something before. Here it is. It's the Beaver nuclear plant. So this Shippingport, wherever they had it, probably in the same spot or next to it, was the first peacetime nuclear plant in the world in the 1950s, and it was made from a aircraft carrier nuclear reactor that President Eisenhower canceled the order for the